Hizzle, all for shizzle dizzle. We got an excellent show here today. Y'all ever notice when I'm in this truck, video looks good. When I'm in my work truck, it looks horrible. It don't even look like the same phone. It look like I got a iPhone 16. Oh gosh, why would he park right in front of the fucking? Excuse me, y'all. Let me throw this junk in the back of my bed away. Got a lot of junk back here. I just want to get the main junk so it doesn't fly on the highway. Just don't fly on the highway here. Okay, got that out of the way. So y'all see the title, Operation Web. Operation Web. Operation Web was constructed 2 years ago under the Biden administration for Ukraine to strike Russia in 5 different places. And they executed that today. Um, Earlier today, I reported they destroyed 40 planes. Turns out they only destroyed 7. And, they have to over exaggerate the loss. But Operation Web, you know, uh, and I find out why they're so aggressive with, Russia. We know the story of Russia and Ukraine, but we don't know the back end story of Operation Web. The biggest hit that the EU is taking is from Africa. It's from Africa. China and Russia is responsible for, well, I wouldn't even say responsible. I mean, you got Mr. Torre, Ibrahim Torre, and you got other African nations having the, what I like to call the childish Gambino effect. If you guys are familiar with childish Gambino, what the hell? I don't know who that was. He honked at me. It looked like it was Ahmed, but I don't know if it was Ahmed or not. But I'm not stopping. I'm going home. But I'm glad he waved at me. Uh, but I ain't got time to chit chat right now. I'm chit chatting with y'all. So I call it the Gambino effect, the childish Gambino. If y'all know, This Is America. And when he made that video, people from around the world, even all the way from Japan to Iran, every single country in Africa, every single country in the Caribbean made their own version of this is Jamaica, this is Haiti, this is Iran, this is Ireland, this is Japan. Had a real hardcore effect. And I think what Europe is fearing is that Ibrahim Traore, who is backed by China, backed by Russia, backed by North Korea, will have the same effect on Africa. It's not so much that the Europeans care about Ukraine, they just use Ukraine as cannon fodder. It's a lot of the back end that a lot of y'all don't know about. So I think what I'm going to start doing is covering the back end of the EU getting hit from the back. The EU being NATO, being European countries like Germany, France, England, uh, you name a country, Belgium, they're all the Dutch, they're all getting hit from the back, that being Africa. And Africa is starting to wake up to the shenanigans that Europe is has been has been placating on Africa for the last, I don't know, for the last 100 years. And so let me pull over because this guy's right on my ass, and I don't like people driving on my ass like that. Yes, please stop tailgating. Oh, guys, I hate that shit. Okay, anywho, um, yeah, Europe is getting hit from the back end, and I think what Europe is doing is taking it out on Russia because Russia, being that a lot of them. do come from the Caucasus Mountains have showed people like Kwame Ture and other African nations that are, I want to say, the Central Africa, um, breaking the yoke away from France, England, Germany. I think that's the real, because I'm like, why would these countries make a big deal about Ukraine? Hell, Ukraine is the most corrupt country. They offer grain, yeah, but so does goddamn Senegal. So does I mean most of your African countries. And let's not talk about the resources. So yeah, that's what people are not talking about. That's what the mainstream media is definitely not talking about because they're too busy talking about Putin is Hitler, blah blah blah. And yeah, so I'm thankful I have some sources, African sources that I had a long time ago, long time ago, and I'm getting back tapped in with a lot of these uh, African sources because yeah, things are really brewing in Africa. Burkina Faso, Niger, Senegal. I want to say Sierra Leone. That whole Central Africa is waking up, and the first thing on their agenda is to boot out the colonizers. South Africa, and that's why if y'all remember when Trump had the South African president, they played the other guy, which, you know, Trump, you're using old tactics. You're using old tactics. Let me just say that if you want to confront Trump, the guy that said kill the white farmers, invite him. Don't invite the South African presidency. Don't get all Africans mixed up. It's just like I would say, don't get all Jamaicans mixed up. Don't get every African American mixed up. Don't get us mixed up. Remember, and I respect both sides of African Americans that fought on both sides of the Confederacy and the Union of the Civil War. So we're not the same, and every African is not the same. And so I say that to say this: as a FBA, a full-blooded American, I want to say this: that all Africans aren't the same, and as a descendant, as a descendant I want to see Africa free. I spoke on this before. That's nothing new. I've always, even though America is my home, I've always just wanted to see Africa free. From the days of Patrice Lumumba to Kwame Nkrumah to someone. All those revolutionary African leaders. Again, you got. Oh, look at this traffic. You got you got England, you got France, you got Germany, you got all them robbing the resources out of Africa, the gold, oil, the diamonds, the cobalt. I mean, name a resource, they're taking it out of Africa for free. And so African leaders have rose up. Like I said, Ibrahim Traoré is not the first one, but he is the first one to have major backing of three. Will you fucking go, bitch? To go. Okay, shit. It's like they're either gonna go or goddamn hit that, and you right on my tail. Oh, this is the same person that was tailgating me. Ain't that some shit? So, anywho, um, anywho, you have major powers backing Kwame Ture, and this is the real story. See, they doing the old three-card money. They get all our focus on Ukraine for the ones. Well, there's distractions on many levels now that I've learned today because I was harping earlier today on how people are distracted by the P Diddy, and I'm thinking I'm watching the news, which I am. The Ukraine Russia war is a concern. However, however, you got fucking weirdo. I'm sorry, y'all. People driving like weirdos here in Georgia, as usual. You got you got distractions on every level, and as I was so focused on Ukraine and Russia, didn't see what was happening in Africa because they're trying to keep Africa hush, 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 hush. You know, but I did say a long time ago that Macron wants to puff out his chest, but couldn't take on the people in Burkina Faso or Nigeria. I guess they don't want that smoke in Africa. And I don't blame them. I don't blame them. I wouldn't want that smoke in Africa either. I wouldn't want that smoke, man, because Africa is a different beast when you go to war. It is a whole different beast. Kim Jong Un got his troops training in Burkina Faso as we speak, and so um, what I'm saying is that there's going to be a pivotal shift on this channel because that's where the fight is. That's where all the beef is coming from. So yeah, Operation Web is deeper because I'm like, why would Ukraine stick their neck out to Russia? And it's like, no, they're the torpedoes. For those of y'all who don't know what a torpedo is in the prison culture, a torpedo is a new jack that's part of a gang, whether it be the Aryan Brotherhood, the Black Guerrilla Family, La MA, it doesn't matter. Pick a gang, pick a prison gang, and that prison gang has what you call a torpedo. A torpedo is a prison term for a hitman. Out here we call them hitmans, or the mafia will call them hitman. In prison we call them torpedoes. And a torpedo doesn't care about getting more time, getting his head busted, or whatever the consequences. His main goal is to take out the target at all costs. Even if he gets jumped by a whole nother gang, stabbed up, shanked up, it don't matter. The torpedo is what Ukraine is. Ukraine, they are the torpedo. And they are the torpedo to go after Russia. And whatever the consequence, they don't care. Unfortunately, it's sad because the Ukrainian soldiers, which y'all know, I'm subscribed to one of them, going into battle, think they're going into battle for a just cause, and it's like, damn, y'all are cannon fodder. You guys are cannon fodder at the end of the day, and so this Operation Web, I don't know if it's to size up Russia, but Putin is slowly cutting away at Ukraine. And I'm like, Ukraine's not even the goal. And now it's making sense why Putin has a strategy that he has. I'm like, why he just don't take Kiev? Why he just don't take goddamn Zaporozhye and all these other goddamn Kharkiv and Odessa? Why he just don't take it? Because nobody's talking about Africa. Africa is the true where their goal is to wear down the Soviet so they can get, or I said the Soviet. Did I say the Soviet? I said Soviet. To wear down Russia and I guess isolate China and of course North Korea to get back into Africa because they know as long as or Kwame Ture is like I said, he's doing the childish Gambino effect, meaning Kwame Ture is going to inspire others. And when he inspires others, the first thing they're going to want to know is what type of backing does he have. And when they see that, oh, Kwame Ture has a major backing like China and Russia and North Korea, they're going to like, oh, well, hell, we gonna buck up too. We're gonna buck up too. So that's my take on the Operation Web, the deeper meaning that nobody else is talking about on YouTube here. And I was like, wait a minute, because all this Africa stuff keeps popping up. And I was like, damn, why did it take me so long to figure this out? That's the real prize right there. Because, Ukraine doesn't really have much to offer. They got little, resources here and there, but nothing like Africa. Nothing like Africa. They say, oh, they got grain, yeah, but they don't talk about the grain that comes out of Africa. So they don't talk about the rice that comes out of Africa, the yams, all that comes out of Africa. And so, and so you have the real reason and the why they want to go after Russia so bad. It's because Russia is backing up a lot of these African countries, and so America, Europe, the NATO, and America can't have it. And so, um, of course, also what triggered me also is when Trump was doing the humiliation ritual to the South African president. I'm like, why is he damn clowning that guy so bad like that? Like, Trump is known to, I mean, he clowns Zelensky. I mean, this is what he's known to. He clowned even the guy from England. So, um, this is nothing new that Trump does, but I'm like, he went out of his way extra for the South African president. And again, it wasn't even the South African president that did it. Somebody else did it. That was somebody else doing. You know what I'm saying? That was a guy from a whole different party, who, of course, is backed by, I guess people would say the communists or whatever. I guess that being China or Russia or whoever, which Russia's not even communist no more, but that's besides the point. The point that I'm making is that you got Africa being the prize. Africa has always been the prize. And so when you got, like I said, this is the first time you had major companies. I said companies, major countries backing. Now, back in the day, you had the Soviet Union, you had China, dibble and dabble, but nothing like now. Like now, you got real military alliance backed by um, Russia, backed by China, backed by North Korea, and so these countries are in serious. Relax. Think you are on to something. Yeah, all you got to look is up. Relax and talk sports. What did it for me is the whole relationship between Putin and Kwame Ture. That's what, like, I was like, wait a minute, it's now making sense. Because, like, Ukraine, they have resources, don't get me wrong, but not like the continent of Africa. Like Central Africa has 700 times more resources than Ukraine. Ukraine got little resources here and there, but nothing like Africa, nothing like Central Africa. And so, I mean, 700 times more than Ukraine. So that's why I was like, why are they making such a big deal out of Ukraine, and why do they keep poking at the bear? If you notice, Ukraine and NATO are poking at Russia, and they're trying everything in their power to set off an Article 5, which is if you attack one NATO country, every NATO country jumps on you. That's Article 5. And they're trying to do it right now before Trump changes his mind. They're trying to pull Trump over so they can get World War III popped off and goddamn try to get rid of goddamn Putin. Which, getting rid of Putin, you're taking out the most calm person. If Dmitry Medvedev goddamn gets in power, used to be now Dmitry Medvedev, I think, is the number 2 guy in Russia. He's the former president of Russia. He was the president of Russia during the time when Obama was president here. And if what the hell? I'm sorry, I just got a notification, by the way. If anyone will run with Hoffman isn't at it yet, go ahead and add them. What the hell, Chrissy? I get so sick of that dude, man. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm getting messages pop up from some other shit stuff. But let me say this. Yeah, the Africa is the breadbasket, is the mother lode of all resources. And I think you guys already know that. Most African Americans who do Pan African studies, we know this. If you go to black colleges or part of any conscious community or whatnot, you learn these things. You learn these things, and nothing has changed. And I didn't even put it together, because again, there's levels of distraction. Like I didn't get distracted by no P Diddy or none of the local news, but as far as the Ukraine Russia war, I got distracted with Zelensky and Ukraine, and I'm like, but they're puppets. It's not making no sense, and they're torpedoes. Again, a torpedo is equivalent to a hitman, but in the prison world, in the prison and jails, you got torpedoes, and that's all Ukraine is are torpedoes. So I was like, wait a minute, and this is why they try so hard to assassinate Putin, but oh, that's why they want to get rid of Putin because they know Dmitry Medvedev will just goddamn fire on the motherfucker. He'll just straight fire on Germany. He'll fire. He's ready to go at it with Europe. Dmitry Medvedev represents the far right of Russia, like the Hawks. Like, yeah, let's get it popped off Russia. He represents that. Putin represents the goddamn central. He's the calm one. Let me say that again because y'all don't think y'all understand me. Vladimir Putin is the calm one in Russia because everybody in Russia is ready to goddamn jump it off. But Putin is the calm one. Putin is the cerebral chess player. That's what Putin is. Putin is like playing. He's like a master chess player when it comes to like strategy. And this is what's frustrating, and this is why they keep poking at the bear. If that had been anybody else but Putin, oh shit would have jumped off, but that's what they want. They want a full-on war to jump off, and let me say this. Operation Web. Let me say this. If y'all think that was just Ukraine, y'all know that wasn't just Ukraine. I'm not going to even insult y'all intelligence like that. Y'all know that was the U.S., the military industrial complex behind that operation like that complex operation like that. No, that was not Ukraine by themselves, man. I'm not saying that Ukraine is not capable, but they don't have the funds. Let me say that again. I'm not saying Ukraine is not capable, but they don't have the funds to do that type of operation. That is a that is a quadrillion-dollar operation. The coordination and all that, getting those trucks all the way up into Russia like that, and then coordinating all those damn drones the way they did. Yeah, that was on some military industrial complex operation. That's on some let's keep this war going right there, man. Because Zelensky's getting wind down. Even the torpedoes know their limits. And I believe Zelensky is about to break. Yeah, he's getting old. The bags. I mean, I'm one to talk about bags under the eyes, right? But yeah, he's really stressed out. He's really stressed out, and they try to, because I put it out there that his wife is under house arrest. Him and they had to do a photo op where him and his wife were at a damn bookstore. Yeah, you can sell that to anybody else. You can't sell that to me. I know what time it is, Zelensky, but you know what? Like I said, Zelensky's a torpedo. He does all this craziness because Europe gives him the green light, and Europe is in economic shambles because they no longer have a yoke hold over Africa. Pick a country in Africa. Pick any country in Africa. They don't have hold over it. Especially Central Africa. Especially Central Africa. They have no hold. And the Europeans are losing their minds. And I don't know why Trump is getting involved in that. I guess because of our ties to NATO. But Trump is like, damn, Trump is like trying to do shit on the sneaky end, on the back end. Again, I don't want to talk shit about Trump because what he's doing for America is great, but his foreign policy, man, he's doing a lot of sneaky shit that you can't sneak China. You can't sneak Russia and you can't sneak Africa. You cannot sneak these countries no more. Donald Trump, get off that boat. Get off the boat because Europe is sinking. Goddamn, England, Germany, France, they are sinking on that ship. And I'm saying because you're doing this country a great justice by putting our economics back in order, Trump, get off that ship. Trump, get off that ship. Trump, leave NATO. Leave NATO now. You almost, trust me, Trump, you're almost at Mount Rushmore. But if you make the wrong decision with NATO, if you don't walk away, they are going to ruin your legacy. Rob said, I don't care. I don't see talking truth as shit talking. I don't see truth. Oh, what's going on, Rob? Yeah, what's going on, Rob? Yeah, I'm just yeah, I just realized I've been distracted by the whole Russia Ukraine, which really it's Russia and Africa. That's why the Europeans are mad. They're not mad about Ukraine. I'm like, why are they so gung ho about Ukraine? And Ukraine's a torpedo. They're just a torpedo because they don't care about Ukraine. I'm like, damn, they really don't care about Ukraine like that. They don't care. They don't get it, man. And well, the people who support Slava Ukraine, they don't get it. Like you guys are cannon fodder. You guys are cannon fodder. So again, um, y'all know y'all have heard me get caught up, man, and just out of frustration, bomb on Ukraine. But Ukraine, man, I really don't want them people to be slaughtered. Like I don't want people going in the meat grinder unnecessarily when that's not even their fight, man. I mean, it's like they were provoked in so many ways, and all that was a setup to provoke Russia this whole time. That's why you let Nazis run around. That's why you let they made up these ridiculous rules. You cannot speak Russian anymore. And I'm like, huh? I'm not even Russian, and I'm like, I'm an African American. I'm a black man in America. And I was like, huh? Huh? Of course, some people are gonna buck. You're telling Russian speaking ethnic Russians they can no longer. You're gonna outlaw their language? Yeah, of course, shit's gonna jump off, and rightfully so it did. But Putin was like, that's why I kept saying, y'all, Putin doesn't want Ukraine. They're making it seem like they painted a false narrative because it's not about Ukraine. It's about Africa. It's been about Africa the whole time. Damn. It's been about Africa the whole time. And again, if you guys probably heard of Childish Gambino. Childish Gambino. This is America. Again, if you look up his video and look up every country, this is Africa, or this is Rwanda, this is Jamaica, this is whatever country of your choice. He started that effect, man, and that's the same effect that, figuratively speaking, Kwame Ture is going to have on Africa. And this is what they fear. And like I said, they're mad at Russia because Russia, like I said, Ibrahim Traore is not the first African leader to stand up to colonial powers, but he is the first to have the backing of three major countries. So that is the issue. Major backings of three, I want to say what, three nuclear powers? Because North Korea has nuclear capability, right? So you have three nuclear powers that's backing this young man. That's the difference between him and past African leaders. Like I said, I've been studying African history, Pan African history for a long time. And I mean, it's impossible to study Malcolm X and not study Pan African history because, Malcolm X was not only a black nationalist, but he was a Pan Africanist also. And so when studying Malcolm X, then it opens up the door to Patrice Lumumba and all those other African leaders, great African leaders, and even in music, Fela Kuti, and I mean, uh, if you little side note, real quick, little side note. If you are familiar with Bob Marley, y'all familiar with Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, or any type of revolutionary African music, Fela Kuti started all that. So that I'm gonna have to do a whole nother show on that with Fela Kuti. But what I'm getting at, the point I'm getting at is that you have this effect, and again, you have Ibrahim Traore being the first backed by three nuclear powers: China, Russia, North Korea. You know what? I'm kind of iffy on North Korea, but they still play a major role, major power. They have a lot of people. They have a lot of soldiers. So um, major backing, and there are North Korean troops in Burkina Faso, along with Russian troops, along with Chinese troops. So you know, by having those major backings like that, it allows other African countries to make deals and align themselves militarily and have a total shift in Africa, have a total shift. And you're talking about endless supplies of materials, endless supplies of food, material, whatever you want out of Africa. Like say mainly cobalt, gold, and all that, zinc, uh, uh, lithium, all that stuff. Africa's rich with that, and we all know that. I mean, I'm preaching to the choir. We know the resources out of Africa is second to none. And you mean to tell me they're making it seem like Russia wants to take over itty bitty Ukraine? Now, Putin does want to create a buffer zone. He's like, well, shoot, since we're doing this war, might as well create a buffer zone, which is understandable. But look at what they did. They surrounded out of desperation. This is the same time Africa liberated out of desperation. They added uh, Finland, was it Finland and Sweden to NATO? That's a desperate move. That's a desperate move. And Operation Web is the most desperate move. And that puts, man, you think, I mean, I don't think, I'm going to be honest with y'all, I don't think Ukraine was in the crosshairs. I think they're in the crosshairs now. I think they're in the crosshairs now because, like I've said before, Putin doesn't even consider the Ukraine, he considers Ukraine as special operations. He doesn't even consider that a war. But we're all waiting now for Putin's response. We're waiting for Putin's response. We are waiting on Putin's response. And so, you know, I'm waiting for Putin's response because I know, um, even though they said only seven bombers got hit as opposed to 40, it wasn't no 40. Again, I said that out of reports that I got, and then when the smoke cleared, it was only seven planes, which seven planes is still a big hit, but will Russia just absorb it and keep moving on with the war? Because all Russia has to do is just win the war. But again, that he has to be very careful because he wasn't going to trigger that Article 5, which Trump, if Russia attacks any NATO nation, Trump would have to be obligated to join in. However, if a NATO country kamikazes themselves, it has to fit within Article 5. And so that Article 5 is tricky, and they're trying everything to provoke Russia, and Putin's not falling for it. Dmitry Medvedev would fall for it. You know, he's gung ho. U.S. Army here for a bit. Finally caught you. Oh yeah, man. Yep. Uh, you're right. Switzerland and Finland are now part of NATO. Yeah, Chubbs. Yeah, they're part of NATO, and they rushed them in there because they want to hurry and have a war with Russia because of Russia's influence in Africa. It's not even about Ukraine, man. It's torpedoes, man. So, man, let me give y'all a shout out. Hey, Chubbs. U.S. Army, shout out to you. Chubbs, shout out to you. Let's see who else is in there. Rob Cat, shout out to you. Relaxing Sports, shout out to you. Man, shout out to everybody who's come in here, man. Man, shout out to y'all, man. Thank y'all for coming. Yeah, I just wanted to touch on because I know y'all heard about Operation Web, man. And so, yeah, it hit me today, bro. It hit me today. It's not even about Ukraine, man. The desperation is all about Africa, and they want China, and Trump might be a part of this too. NATO wants China, Africa, North Korea. I'm sorry, they want China, Russia, and North Korea up out of Africa. That's what this is all about. So, yeah, I'm gonna be giving y'all some more ties in with Africa with this whole thing. So, yeah, it's direct ties with Russia, Ukraine, and Africa. And Africa being the real reason why all this is jumping off. It's not even about Ukraine. Damn. All right, y'all. I made it home, man. It's hot out here. It is hot, so I want to get in the house, hit the shower, and just relax, man. This heat is hot out here in Georgia. Now, I am grateful because all last week it rained, it rained, it rained, it rained. But now, hey, Chubbs. Oh, Josh is in the house. What up, Josh? I want to get in the house, y'all, because I got the AC full blast, and it is just hot outside. It is hot outside. But yeah, shout out to Josh, man. Shout out to everybody. Let me get going. I gotta cut my grass. Damn, because it rained. Now the damn grass is like high as hell. So let me. Don't want to cut. I don't want to cut the grass today. I'm gonna have to wait till Sunday. Fuck that. It's too hot. It's too hot to cut the grass. It's too hot. Take it easy, Black Son. Yeah, man. Y'all take it easy too, man. With that being said, man, I'm out, y'all. Peace.